Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay of this video. We are going to go over the astrology of the Pisces full moon that is happening on Wednesday in a couple of days. I'm going to go over all of the energies, the general explanation and definition of a full moon in Pisces, the astrological aspects that are happening during this full moon in Pisces, the chakra system of the body, any stargates if they are applicable, the Sabian symbol, the Chandra symbol, the gene key, and then introduce the human design gates, which I'll be doing a broadcast about tomorrow when we just talk about the full moon via the lens of human design. So excited to be here today. Again, thank you so much. If you are new, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure that you get notified when I go live and when I upload videos, especially if you're enjoying the content. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you don't mind leaving a comment and or sharing these videos on social media, that would be amazing to grow the community and to grow the channel. And speaking of community, we have our beautiful global community that is held on the platform called Mighty Networks. Our community is the Channel for Grace global community, and we have free events. We have all of my courses hosted on that portal. It has an app that you can download onto your phone and have easy access to everything. And it's pretty amazing. We're running a book club circle right now, reading an amazing book about shamanism. We just did the Virgo season sound bath. It was amazing and so freaking healing. The replay for that is now up. We also are going to do our Virgo season Kundalini yoga that's coming up next week. You don't want to miss that either. And there are so many more things that are happening on this amazing space. So come join us. It's free to join the community space, and you get access to all those things for free. And there's tons of replays from previous events that we've had. And like I said, you can access all of my courses as well. So I wanted to make a couple of announcements about some courses that are coming up. We're basically just one course, and I wanted to give you a little bit of insight into what this course is going to be about. So we're going to do something a little different and a little fun today. But before we dive in, I would love for you guys to let me know, how is my connection? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me good? I see the Wi-Fi might be kind of funky, so let me know if you can at least hear me. And while I wait for those responses, I'm going to say hi to everybody that's in the chat. Hello, Ping. Welcome in. Hello, Raven. Welcome in. Hello, Maria. Thank you for being here. Maricela. Hi, beautiful people. Hello, Grace, Kali, Maya. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Lisa is also here. Okay. So as some of you guys may have heard, and I've been announcing it, I am co-leading a tarot masterclass with Jason from Ray of Light Tarot. Now, Jason's been reading tarot for a long time, so he's very familiar with using the tool as a divination tool for, I don't know if you call it fortune telling or just, doing tarot readings. He's amazing at the definitions and the meanings of the cards in terms of doing readings for people. And he learned from his aunt, which is so freaking cool. Hello, Linda. Welcome in. Thank you guys for the clarification. And I am going to be bringing to this tarot class the Hermetic wisdom, the astrological wisdom, and the ancient symbolisms of the tarot, which go back all the way to ancient Egypt and also ancient Atlantis. Hello, Belinda. Welcome in. So for fun today, I wanted to share a little bit of some of the information that I'm going to be talking about in the class. And I have been, obviously, whenever I commit to teaching something, what happens to me is I want to be like extra prepared. And in that process of being extra prepared, I start diving into rabbit holes. And that's what has happened to me with this tarot masterclass. And it's really blowing my mind, all the Hermetic symbols that are found within the tarot, that I wanted to give you guys a little snapshot of it. So you can, if you're on the fence about taking this class, then you won't be after I show you this. Okay. So we are going to talk about the High Priestess card. And I'm laughing because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. So those of you that know the High Priestess card know that it basically represents, our intuition. It's a card that is ruled by the moon. It also represents like the sacred divine feminine energy. And it's a really beautiful frequency of being at your highest state of like awareness within that sacred divine feminine energy. But did you know, I just literally couldn't wait. I'm like, I got to tell somebody. Did you know that the symbolism, and this is the card from the Rider-Waite deck. And that deck, I've come to find out, that was specifically created by two initiates, two students of the order, what is it called? The Order of the Golden Dawn or something like that. And it was created in like 1909, I believe, 1904 or 1909. And the artistry, basically, there was two people that created it. There was an artist, and then there was like the writer of the information. But they came together and they believed that the only way to truly understand these symbols of the tarot was to understand it through the eyes of Hermetic alchemy. And when I found that out, I was like, okay, I'm not going to use any other deck other than the Rider-Waite tarot deck ever for the rest of my life. No, I'm just kidding. But when I really want to tune in, I'm going to use this deck because of the rich symbolism found within these cards. And I bet you didn't know like how much is found within it. And I'll tell you in a second. We're going to dive into this card and I'm going to tell you all the cool things about it. But Grace says, yes, this card has been coming up in all your readings. What? That's insane. So the other thing I found out about the tarot is that it is connected to the Kabbalah or the Kabbalah. And there is such a thing as the Hermetic Kabbalah. And I have never really been drawn to study the Kabbalah. But now that I have found this information out, I am 100% taking a deep dive into the Kabbalah and how it is related to the 22 major arcana of the tarot. Basically, the Kabbalah has 22 paths, and the major arcana has 22 cards. And all of these cards are archetypes. And all of them are here to help us understand ourselves better and to give us wisdom. And so you can use these archetypes in your life to help elevate, to help understand, to help dive deeper into your experience. And you can use them for divination so that you can receive the message that you need to receive. So, what have I found out about the Hermetic alchemy found within this card? So, first of all, I discovered that every single one of the laws of the universe is depicted through symbolism in this card. And I want to show you where those things are. So, we're going to start with her crown. Now, you can see in her crown, it's basically the symbol of the moon, and it's got the two little horns, right? And this is the crown of Isis. This is also the crown of Hathor. And these are things, you guys, I literally have discovered that the tarot is a way to subconsciously work with Hermetic alchemy, sacred geometry, like all of it. And now my mind is blown and I can't even believe it. Okay, continuing on. This is the crown of Isis. This is the crown of Hathor, but this symbol actually represents the moon. It's got the full moon in the center, and then it's got the two crescent moons on the side. And obviously we know that the moon follows cycles, right? Every like we're talking about a full moon tonight, right? There's a full moon and a new moon and the crescent moon and the waning moon and the waxing moon, and there's a cycle to the moon, and it's very much connected to that sacred divine feminine energy. Well, here you see that this represents, her crown represents the law of rhythm, which states that everything has a rhythm, everything has a flow. So next, let's go down to the cross on her chest. So the cross on her chest is actually an even cross, if you can see that. It's almost more like the South American cross than the cross of like Christianity or any other religion that uses the cross symbolism, or Catholicism or whatever. And what this cross actually represents is the law of correspondence. As above, so below. And it's about the balancing of all of the elements. So that's 2. It's almost like we're playing Where's Waldo here. So there's 7 total laws of the universe. So 5 more to look into. The next one is found when you look at the pillars that are surrounding her. So you have a pillar that's labeled in J, which is Yakin, and a black pillar that's labeled in blue, and that's Boaz. And those are the 2 pillars of the Temple of Solomon. But they also represent the law of polarity, which is yin, yang, dark, light. I mean, one is black and one is white, right? Yeah, you're hitting the sneak peek. So that's the law of polarity, which basically states that everything in this universe, in our world, is polar opposites, that everything has a polar opposite. And I'm going to continue. So that's 3 so far to keep me on track. If you look at the tapestry that is behind her, it's like hanging from these 2 pillars. You can see that that tapestry has pomegranates and palm leaves or palm trees on them, right? So the pomegranates represent the feminine sexuality. The palm trees represent masculine sexuality. And together, obviously, those are the 2 energies that help create or generate and birth things into the material world. And so this represents the law of gender. So that's 4 so far. Like I said, this is insane. So that's 4. Let's see. Let's find the last 2. So here we go. The last 2 are epic. Her robe, here, I'm just going to leave it as like a big image so you can see it. She has this beautiful, she has her inner robe is sort of white. It's white. It's got light shades of blue in this image, but it's technically white. Her inner robe is white and her outer robe is blue. And her robe altogether, it's kind of flows down her body as if it's a waterfall, like water flowing down. Obviously, that's a symbol of the sacred divine feminine, right? This is a very yin-like image. It's actually the partner card of the magician card, who represents the divine masculine. This represents the divine feminine. So whereas the magician is the yang, the high priestess card is the yin, and there's these pairs in the tarot that are really cool when you understand them together. So the high priestess is the one that is waiting to be impregnated. She's the virgin, like young, high priestess that holds the key to the actual creation. But the magician is that divine, sacred, masculine energy that takes action and drive and focus and consciousness to basically manifest. And the high priestess is the one that gets seeded by that energy and then births it, which becomes the empress. So they birth the empress together. Yeah. Anyways, okay, back to just the high priestess card. So her robe flows, and it flows like a waterfall, and it represents the stream of consciousness. And you'll notice this color in other cards, and it sort of interweaves this theme of the stream of consciousness throughout the entire tarot deck. When this color keeps appearing, it comes back to that high priestess robe. Yes, and you have the first and the second card, exactly. But this robe, this waterfall, this stream of consciousness represents the law of mentalism, which states that the all is mind, that the cosmos is mind, that God is mind, that we are mind, therefore we are God, right? I think, therefore I am. So, or I am, therefore I think. It goes either way. And so then we have one more law, and that last law is the law of vibration. And it's represented by all of the wrinkles in her robe that show us these sort of like waves of vibration, like water. When you throw a rock in the water, it sort of like creates these waves, this vibration. And the law of vibration states that the universe is vibratory, that everything is a vibration, is a frequency. So is your mind blown yet? Isn't that just insane? So this is the kind of information that I am going to be bringing into this tarot class, the hermetic alchemy, the symbolism of all of it. And then, we can go on and on and on about each of these cards, but they are amazing. So that's the sneak peek. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys join me for the Tarot Masterclass, which begins September 21st, and it is so affordable with all this information I'm going to be bringing. And then Jason's going to be bringing his own set of information. It is like worth more than $1,000, but it's super affordable. And we have a really awesome payment plan that you can choose. So don't wait to sign up, you guys. This is going to be lit. I know. Hello, Myra. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, Jill. Welcome in. Yes, this is mind-blowing information. So now that we have sort of completed our crazy journey through that I could literally not wait to share with everyone, now we can dive into the astrology of this moon that we are going to be having in just a couple of days. So I am going to pull up the chart. So give me one moment and then we're going to dive in. Yeah, but if you guys have any questions or comments, please share that. And there's more, there's more symbolism within the High Priestess card that is just, it's like wild, mind blowing. Another thing that I didn't mention is that those pomegranates and those palm leaves behind her are actually in the exact position of the Hermetic Kabbalah. And yeah, it's like, wait, what? Crazy. I am really excited too. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about this full moon in Pisces. So Pisces is a really beautiful energy. Pisces is very, very intuitive. The moon card, actually, speaking of tarot, the moon card in tarot actually represents the sign of Pisces. And Pisces is this very ethereal, it's the divine realm. It's the realm of the gods. It's the realm of spirituality. It's the realm of imagination. Good question, Lisa. So going back to the Tarot Masterclass, class will be held on Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. They will go for about 2 hours each, but I am almost positive we're going to go over 2 to 3 hours. And it's going to be for 9 weeks, and there will be replays of everything. So even if you miss a class or two, that's fine, because I will record everything and then upload onto the student space, the student portal within the Mighty Network, and you'll have access to all of it. So even if you can't make those times, you can actually still take the class by watching all of the replays. So, because it's going to be a very teaching class, there's not going to be too much discussion because there is just so much information to cover that we're going to be doing webinars instead of Zoom meetings. So everyone will be watching as if watching a YouTube video or something like that. We'll have a chat, but yeah, so that's what we decided to make it so we're not getting too stuck on, because I know there's going to be a million questions. 9 weeks. We're going to meet for 9 weeks starting September 21st. It's going to be fucking badass. I can't wait. Okay. So coming back to Pisces full moon, it's a really beautiful and intuitive energy, and it invites us to activate our intuition. A full moon in Pisces is also about completing cycles, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And so it's not only a full moon that is a completion energy, it's also Pisces, which really brings that we are kind of formalizing or structuring or grounding or anchoring something. There is a cycle that is completing during this time, and we've been going through a lot. So I feel like this is a really, really good opportunity to watch everything that we've been working on reach this moment of completion for ourselves, and it is a spiritual completion. So Pisces is mystical, divine, spiritual. Intuition can be extremely heightened during this time. Pisces is also about escaping reality. So for some, it will be a moment to escape and avoid. Pisces is a water sign that is mutable, so it brings with it emotions that run deep into the void. It's the ocean that brings in the floodgates. Pisces is also a beautifully compassionate energy and aligned with Christ consciousness. So that would be the Stargate or archetype energy that we work with during Pisces is Christ consciousness. And this activates a collective form of divine love that is able to emanate from all of us. So what are some of the aspects that this moon is doing to other planets? Well, first of all, you have on this side a conjunction between Saturn and the moon. And that, I think that this is actually beautiful. Saturn is actually on Fomalhaut. And that is one of the stargates. It's 1 degree away from Fomalhaut, which is the star of Christ consciousness. It's the star of Archangel Gabriel, who is known as the messenger of God. So this moon has the potential to bring you a powerful, powerful message. And that's in itself amazing. The other thing that Saturn represents, he's a teacher. Saturn is also the wise sage. And in Pisces, I feel a bit of like Odin vibes, you know, like this the high priest, or it could be hermit vibes, it could be Hierophant vibes, it could be even the magician vibes, you know. It's just this energy of even like emperor vibes, but with the theme of spirituality that is interwoven within this energy. Saturn brings seriousness. He basically says like, stop fucking around, stop messing around, stop joking around. It's time to get serious. It's time to take responsibility. When the moon conjuncts Saturn, it often feels like it restricts that like free emotional flow. However, if you think about what's the purpose of this full moon and that it is a completion, Saturn there, I feel like, is a positive influence on this energy, especially because it is on Fomalhaut, the star of Christ consciousness and the star of Archangel Gabriel. The ruler of this moon is Neptune, and Neptune is in Pisces. He's been in Pisces for a long time, but this just refortifies this frequency of Pisces as a powerful spiritual experience. During this full moon, Mercury is making a trine to Jupiter as well as Uranus. So there's Mercury, there's Jupiter, and there's Uranus. And it's a beautiful trine energy. And remember that the trines bring in harmony, the potential for balance, and positively influences us to make the right decisions, to create things that are beautiful and possibly totally new. That's the Uranus energy. The Jupiter brings in magnification and abundance of thought. Mercury, the mind. The Mercury is the magician too, right? Of manifestation. So this is a really beautiful frequency. So our thoughts are actually going to be really powerful during this time, which is important to keep the mind and the thoughts clear and like positive, not positive, but just conscious awareness of what you're thinking is really important during this full moon. There is a square from Venus to Jupiter, and that can feel a little bit like friction, but at the same time, Venus and Jupiter are both benefics. So whether they're squaring, trining, sextiling, or opposing, they are actually helping each other either way. So you can feel friction, you can feel something that comes up that needs to be resolved, but you can also feel the help that each planet gives to the other. Venus brings in abundance. Jupiter brings in, also magnifies that abundance. Venus brings in love and beauty, and Jupiter just continues to magnify that energy. So we'll experience a little bit of friction, but it'll be for a good sort of outcome. And the one thing that I would say would be a challenging aspect to this moon is that Pluto is T-squaring the nodes. He's been T-squaring the nodes for a while now. because he's at those last degrees, and the nodes are at the last degrees of Libra and Aries, and they hang in there for a while. And so this T-square with Pluto is about facing the challenges and letting go of things from the past that no longer serve us, that completely get in the way of us moving forward towards our destiny path, towards what we, truly want for ourselves. So it's about letting go of the past so that you can make space for the future. It's about healing old karmic wounds so that you can open up to new experiences and new relationships and healing. It's truly about healing. It's like challenging us to heal. So the main theme is spirituality, Christ consciousness, the messenger of God, Archangel Gabriel, like coming in and just holding this beautiful divine frequency and presence in our lives. So it is going to be a really, really powerful moon. This moon is activating the chakra above the head, which is the connection between us and God and our divinity and our higher self. It is also the connection to the cosmos. It's what opens us up to that cosmic mind. We were talking about the law of mentalism earlier. The chakra above the head is the opening to the cosmic mind, which brings in, if you're thinking human design and you think about the head center in human design, it's the pressure to think and make sense of everything and understand the cosmos, basically. So that's beautiful. And it's also about the circulatory system, which is the flowing of information through the body. So the circulatory system is the blood, and the blood moves information through the body. And for us, it's about how much does that information, is it flowing? Are we stuck somewhere? Are we not able to get information? Are we lacking information? Do we have too much? Are we overwhelmed? All of those things can come up during this time. So really powerful just so far by looking at those energies. So what we're going to do next is talk about the Sabian symbol of this moon and then the Chandra symbol. So let's take a look at what they are. Okay. This is crazy because speaking of the tarot, I've been like so engulfed in studying the tarot right now that it's like, this is crazy right now. An emperor and empress are seated upon adjacent thrones. The empress leans over to her husband and gives him some frank advice on an important matter of state. So without even reading the description of this, I just want to give my own interpretation of it. The Empress embodies that energy of divine feminine creativity that births into this material world. She's like the earthly mother for all of us. She brings in the wisdom of how to manifest, how to create, how to embody that energy. And the emperor is that masculine support that holds space. It's like our father sky and mother earth, frequency. And he holds space for the creation, for, what's being birthed. The empress to the emperor is such an important figure, the most important. Like, he loves her, This is like his everything in a way. And her leaning over to him and giving him frank advice on an important matter of state just makes so much sense in the fact that like the sacred divine feminine knows the answers, that sacred creative flow has the answers, and it's up to the masculine to be receptive to the information. So here's what the book says about this Sabian symbol. Men and women, as they hold up their own ends of the world, lending stability to a marriage by adhering to socially prescribed sex roles versus usurping one's mate's duties and causing friction. This is about dominating others versus developing an equal, respectful partnership by working through problems. This is about redefining sex roles without losing sight of the function. This is about putting the world in order by thinking globally, prodding the conscience of world leaders by pointing out neglected facts, decrying imperialism as an immoral and destabilizing form of domination, boldly dragging a difficult issue into the spotlight versus gentle admonitions from the sidelines. And this is about combining reason and intuition to arrive at a holistic integration of thought. Yes, the integration of the feminine and the masculine. So I absolutely love this frequency. So we've got that masculine and feminine energy working together during this full moon. As for the Sabian symbol or the Chandra symbol, let's look at that. We have a gypsy peasant woman sings a mournful chant. This earth is broken. The compact between a human soul and her earth housing is violated. Some of us are sensitive to what has gone wrong and must proclaim a conscious change. An agonizing place to be, and yet treated as just the way it is, met with huge resolve, almost welcoming that it has come down to this. Creatively expressive of what it feels like to be here in the midst. You feel resonant with all the kingdoms of nature and especially aligned with the soul of this planet in her deep changes. Put in the right place at the right time to call the occasion, to make things unavoidable, you feel almost immobilized by how huge the task is. Yet you are stoical, dedicated, exceedingly strong and enduring, able to withstand the shaking loose of the old earth in here for the duration, just getting going when it all seems lost. That was intense. That one was intense. Whoa. That was like, for us, a gypsy peasant woman sings a mournful chant. Wow. Man, that message was deep, yo. Okay. So now, all of this stuff, see, this is the way that I work. I love symbols and I love diving deep into all kinds of symbols. And so I bring all these pieces together. Like, that's what I love doing. I love looking at all the different pieces and putting all the symbols together to get a bigger picture. So the other thing that we talk about in these full moon videos is the gene key that this is happening at. And I usually read the description of the city. So if you don't know anything about the gene keys, I recommend you look it up. I'm reading from this book, The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. So this full moon is happening on the 37th gene key, which moves from the shadow of weakness to the gift of equality to the city of tenderness. Its descriptive name is family, alchemy, and the city is the real pole shift. Are you ready for this? The sacrificial lamb. To enter fully into the mystery of this 37th city, we have to move more deeply into the mythic figure of Christ. Although there have been other figures with a similar mythology to Christ, such as the Norse Odin, who was hung from a tree, or even the Egyptian Osiris, whose body parts were scattered far and wide, the figure of Christ and his exact mythology has entered so deeply into the world's psyche that it has a particular resonance with the times in which we are living. I'm telling you, dude. Remember that Saturn right there on the moon? Whew. One needs to be clear from the beginning that we are not talking here of the Christ as he is generally understood by the Christian religion. We are looking at this man's life as a symbol of deep archetypal process that governs all human beings, regardless of their beliefs or culture. As the second aspect of the mysterious Trinity, the Christ unites the two polarities of the masculine Father, the prime Yang, with the feminine Holy Spirit, the prime Yin. Were we just not talking about the High Priestess and the Magician? I even can't with this shit. This is why Jesus is said to be both the Son of God and the Son of Man. He is the offspring of both yin and yang and is therefore the great equalizing force between them. We have seen the 37th gene key represents an evolutionary phase that is now coming to an end, which means that something new must also be born from it. The Christ myth itself must give birth to another dimension, and this dimension concerns the role of the feminine. As the story of Christ is currently understood, Jesus is seen as an embodiment of the divine man, born of a virgin womb and untarnished by sexuality. In the popular story, Jesus has no sexual encounter or attachment to women whatsoever. He stands alone as a proud and potent symbol of the patriarchy that sculpted this understanding of his life. However, without wishing to offend exponents of the popular version of the Jesus story, this interpretation of Jesus is somewhat sterile in terms of its connection to human sexuality. In the Christ myth, Jesus is pitted against sexuality in the form of the devil, and the devil has obvious connections to the feminine through the earlier myth of Eve and the serpent in the Garden of Eden. The 37th city is the city of tenderness. And tenderness is a quality most often associated with the exchange of love between a parent and child. Tenderness in particular is an archetypal motherly essence. Jesus himself is universally connected with the figure of the Lamb, whose essence is represented by this 37th city. This lamb has a deep symbolism with our coming age because it represents the spirit of surrender to an overwhelming inner power. The sacrifice of the lamb corresponds to the giving up of identification with outmoded outlooks and the embrace of a wider reality that lies beyond our current view. We, humanity, are the lamb, and the universal spirit holds us in tenderness as a mother cradles her child. As individuals, we each have to bow our heads and accept the devil within us instead of pushing it down deeper into our psyche. The very thing that terrifies us most will utterly transform us if we can but trust it. It is the source of our sexuality. The dark feminine shadow place within every human being that contains the greatest mystery of who we are and what we can one day become. The 37th gene key has emerged into our current world through the sacred sacrament of marriage. It became sullied and stagnant through its manifestation as a social contractual convention. The marriage we see in the world today is but a shadow of the true inner ideal of marriage. On an individual level, marriage concerns the inner balance and union of yin and yang within each human being. The Christ myth must therefore reflect this inner union through the marriage of Christ to his sacred bride, represented by Mary Magdalene. Damn. The modern resurgence of ideas that explore Christ's connections to the figure of Magdalene can be seen as a reflection of the resurgence of the repressed divine feminine. The city of tenderness is the awakened aura of this mystical union, since tenderness is an energy devoid of tension or sexuality. It is, in fact, the transcendence of sexuality. A great paradox is emerging through the 37th city. The divine feminine will primarily enter the world through men via the power of the mother. The collective imbalance of the feminine archetype is not to be found in women, but in men. The counterbalance to this is the rising of the masculine force of independence burgeoning in women. It is through women's independence that a new social structure will be born in the world that will place the early upbringing of children before all other factors. When children are nurtured by both mothers and fathers are properly supported rather than torn apart due to social tensions, then children will come into the world emotionally balanced. This 37th city of tenderness is the natural climate that surrounds all parents and children. When boys are brought into the world surrounded by this support and tenderness, their feminine side will no longer be compromised, and the world as we see it will begin to change as these boys grow into emotionally balanced men. Conversely, it is through future young girls that the great social change will be brought into the world. Energetically speaking, it is the feminine that carries the vision of synthesis and the masculine that will build it. This is the generalized blueprint of our future society. It will be a world in which the masculine principle serves the feminine principle, so what we are now seeing is not a decline of the family unit, but a complete redefining of what family really means. Family is the structure that creates an aura of tenderness across the planet, empowering individuals and supporting communities simultaneously. In the future, family will no longer be an isolated tribal phenomenon, but a collective breath pattern that unites all human beings. This is the future that is coming. It is the same vision that Christ held as the natural state of humanity. It is what he referred to as the kingdom of heaven. The 37th city is unique among the cities in that it does not manifest through a single individual. It is the heart of the human family, drawing all individuals into its infinitely soft and loving embrace. It is not a force outside of humanity as we have assumed for so many eons, but is our collective inner nature. As a vital aspect of the genetic codon family known as the Ring of Divinity, the 37th gene key has some very powerful genetic programming companions. The 22nd, City of Grace, the 36th, City of Compassion, the 63rd, City of Truth. Each of these codes brings the eventual manifestation of the full divine being into the world. As we move beyond the tribal and blood definitions that have dictated our traditional lifestyle for so long, we will see how limiting our current definition of family really is. The 37th city is an upsurge of consciousness that will slowly unite human beings as the 55th gene key frees us from our victim consciousness. Tenderness is a force to be reckoned with, and as its programming partner, the 40th city of divine will testifies, it is a force that has us all set in its sights. In its very softness, it is insurmountable, invincible, and inevitable. Wow. So, This 37th gene key corresponds to the 37th gate in human design, which Raven mentioned a minute ago, that is found in the solar plexus. And it is the gate of friendship. Like, this full moon is going to be beautiful. When the 37 connects to the 40, we get the channel of community. So tomorrow, we'll be discussing the transit of this full moon through the lens of human design, talking about the 37th gate, talking about the solar plexus, talking about the channel of community and any other energies that are going to be present, strongly present, through the human design lens on this powerful full moon. So, we are complete. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Don't hesitate. Don't think about it. Just come join us for the Tarot Masterclass. It is going to be so much more than just a tarot class, you guys. Holy shit. You are going to be like, literally, I feel like I should start a school of like hermetic alchemy through the tarot and like focus on like just the major arcana. I mean, I'm like, my mind is so blown right now. But thank you again for being here. I hope you guys have a beautiful and powerful full moon in Pisces. Come hang out with us in the global community. We are going to have our celebration of the full moon on Wednesday. And it's going to be really awesome. Knowing all of this, we might do something special that day. So Satnam, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, right here to talk about the human design of this moon. Peace.